Hello and welcome to the beautiful pool here at South Campus. I'm John Carollo. Over here with me is Kendall, and this is girls water polo as they're jumping in the pool right now, getting ready for the sprint.
Yep, definitely looks like it's going to be a well-matched fought today with both the teams lining up, getting ready for their opening sprint.
And this game is against Mother McAuley, which, interesting fact, I do have some history with that high school. My sister went there. So I at least know that their nickname is the Big Macs. Otherwise, I did some research before, couldn't really find much. But the LT girls water polo has had a very storied past. The boys team, you may know, were champions last season, but the girls team is also very good, and here they go out in the sprint.
And McAuley with possession of the ball in the beginning. With number 11 having possession of the ball, looking for an open place. A dry throw.
It looked like it was intended to be a dry throw, but I think that was very much a wet pass.
Yeah. Coming a bit short to the
and LT gets the ball back.
Successful catch for LT.
Now, for those who are kind of new to the sport, you kind of notice that they're only using one hand. That's because you can only use one hand. And it looks like the attacker used their arm to push away the defender, so that means that is a turnover, and McAuley gets the ball.
Yeah, for a sport like water polo, it's essential that you use your hands for like several types of motions. You have to both keep yourself afloat as well as pushing away defenders and make sure you can also catch the ball.
But
very physically
pushing away defenders is also not allowed in it, so that's why. And I believe McAuley just got a goal, so LT is now down by 1. Casey looks a bit stopped up there, but she passes it off to Nika. And it looks like they're calling a corner kick. Nope, that is not. That doesn't really look too much like a corner kick, but it does look like they are going into the 5-meter zone. And a nice throw there.
Yep.
Very good save.
Takes a lot of thought to make sure you have the right type of points to go in from to make sure that the ball gets into the goal. Well, what do you say like is kind of the similarities or differences between soccer and water polo?
Well, I would say after that goal, definitely the fact that there's a corner kick at least, I recognize that. But also that you have to, it's more like hockey actually, where you have to try to rush. And there's very much a hockey mentality going into it, trying to rush your way into the attacking zone.
It's definitely understood where you're coming through with that opinion. And an overshoot on the part of McAuley.
And it looks like there's a foul there going LT's way. And it looks like that's another foul. Number 2 on McAuley has definitely been trying to crowd LT players. And there goes the shot clock. The 30-second shot clock just ran out for them right there.
Excellent way to point that out. LT being back into the side of the court alongside McAuley.
And that bounced right off the corner of the goal. Didn't go in, went out. That was a very good throw. Perfect precision. Just needed to get that a little bit further to the right.
Yeah, that's another thing that I'm noticing that a lot of the players have to deal with is that it's kind of harder to take a shot center mass to the center of the goal, and a lot of those corner shots that they attempt, they either get blocked or they make an overshoot, as we just seen right here, which I'm sure adds to the intensity of the game.
And now it looks like there were 2 fouls there, one on the defense and then another one right afterwards on the offense, or maybe they just changed the call. Otherwise, the ball is going to LT right now. And it looks like number 6 on McAuley is crowding up on Grace Wackerman.
And great catch on the goalie's part of McAuley.
What's very important in a whole lot of sports where you have a goaltender is that they communicate with their defenders and get the ball out and get the attack started. Really, the basis of an attack isn't your attacking player. It starts with your goalkeeper. And you're going to see that a lot, especially in water polo, because they wait for everyone to get up, and then it just pound it in there and see what happens.
It's definitely a crucial part is played by the goaltender in this game.
And it looks like that's a foul on McAuley. And she almost gets a bit of a drop shot there, going into the far bottom corner. And as you see right there, perfect distribution from the goalkeeper to number 2 on McAuley. Really, I think that might make the difference in this game.
Yeah, definitely making sure that the passes get to the opponent is important in any sport, really, and this sport especially. It's crucial that, because since you're in water, the ball doesn't necessarily stay either stationary or roll in a certain direction. It's subject to wherever the water is flowing, so it kind of makes it tougher for a group of opponents from different teams to make sure that they get their hands on the ball.
And we were talking about the usage of hands earlier on in this game. And the interesting thing is, the shot clock is winding down for LT right now, but the interesting thing is that basically anything goes underneath the water. A lot of people try kicking them away instead of using their arms, but sometimes they forget to not use their arms. But they are definitely going to be working towards that ball, and somebody's going to get hit somewhere.
Yeah.
And a whole lot of bruises. But it looks like they're coming out of the back here for LT. Number 11, Grace Wackerman with the ball. Passes it over to Olivia Land. And McAuley takes over the ball. Some great switch-up movement there, going from one end of the pool to the other.
Great point. Make sure that they get the ball away from LT.
Moving side to side is really important in many sports where you need to make sure that you keep the ball away from the defense, especially if the defense all moves together.
Excellent point to make.
And that was very, very closely missed, and I believe they're giving a corner kick to McAuley right here.
Good long pass on the part of McAuley for number 2.
And that was a very nice save there.
Very intense throw.
I believe that she didn't touch it, although from what I saw, it looked like she may have touched it, but that went blazing over the bar.
Definitely would have made it if it was just a few inches closer to the goal.
And McAuley's goalkeeper is up for the challenge against number 18, Maddie Cordell.
Yeah, second time that we've seen her either catch a ball or just straight up block it from entering the goal post, which shows a high amount of proficiency that she has in the sport.
Especially one of the hardest positions to play in at goalkeeper, because especially in the water, you need to get up. And, well, the pool isn't that shallow, so it's pretty deep. You can see the numbers on the side. It's going down to about 12 feet 6 inches where she's at for the LT side, and about 7 minutes 6 inches, 7 feet 6 inches over on the McAuley side. So they're not getting down to jump up. They have to get up with their own motion. And it looks like the shot clocks that we're seeing right now are off because we are within 5 seconds now. And it looks like it's about to run out as the McAuley goalkeeper has the ball. That is the end of the first period. There are I do not remember, but I believe there are either 3 or 4 periods for this. But we've got a 2-minute break here to discuss what we saw in that first period.
Yeah, well, there was a lot to digest in the first period. Both teams definitely show that they're up to the match. They both have enough skill to match each other, and a lot of their offense are equally matched in that they both use strategies of getting the ball, long passes, getting them around the center mass of the players. And I think that it's strategies like that that are really what's making them even, especially with the score, which McAuley and LTHS both have won as of right now. And any input you have to put on this?
Well, I mean, I was looking at one of the earlier games, and it was definitely a whole lot more lopsided than this. I won't say who was winning, but you could have checked. But I think that really this game looks to be very steadily, very heavily matched, with both teams doing very well. But I think the difference comes down to I think McAuley's goalkeeper is looking a whole lot better right now than LT's goalkeeper. But the LT defense looks to be a whole lot better than the McAuley defense, because the McAuley defense is having to have their goalkeeper stand up to the challenge, while the LT goalkeeper hasn't really seen much of a challenge just yet.
Yeah, I think the past point out is that McAuley, they've also been making, as we've seen, they've been making a lot of long shots, long, very fast, but some of them have been missing because they haven't gotten that close to the goal. And LT, they've gotten close enough to the point where it has been both easy for the goalie to block a ball and catch it, and also close enough for them to score, as we see on the clock right now.
And 3, 2, 1 seconds left, and now they're going to drop it off for the sprint. And it looks like the officials are still talking right now, getting set up. The LT players are set up out there right now. It looks like Casey Stuba, Olivia Land. I can't quite make out who that is there in the number 6 cap, but Maddie Cordell. And there's another save by the LT goalkeeper. And Megan Cotil, and I believe on the far end is Anika Moore. And looks like there's a corner kick there.
And in your opinion, who do you think has been kind of stepping up the most during this match, showing the most proficiency in their art?
I believe Casey on the LT squad has really been everywhere where they need her to be right now. But in general, I'm saying the goalkeeper for McAuley has really stepped up for her team.
Yeah, I completely agree with your statements.
And it looks like there's a great save there by the LT goalkeeper, Maddie Janik.
Another long shot on the part of McAuley, thus proving the hypothesis that I was coming up with, that they are focusing far more on making sure that they get the goal from a distance, because LT's been able to block them from making an advance close enough to the goal.
Yeah, they really haven't been able to get into the 5-meter area. But it looks like they're trying to do it now, and they just can't get it. The LT defense is doing really well here.
Yeah, very outstanding, the defense. I feel as if the real question is how McAuley, with their offense, can try to match it.
And I think they're going to be trying to pull more offensive strategy by shooting from a distance, because that may be the only way that they can do it.
9 seconds left on LT's shot clock.
And number 7, Megan Cotil, is able to get a shot off, but unfortunately the McAuley goalkeeper is standing strong. And I believe that's a foul on LT. And it looks like she got a penalty. It's a 20-second penalty. Nope, I think that she's coming out. Okay.
Yep.
She was moved for the rest of that, the rest of the play there. And we're coming up on a little less than 5 minutes left.
LT with possession of the ball, making a decision.
It is still tied at 1.
Well, yeah, for when you were saying that a sport like this is similar to hockey, in hockey we see a lot of fast pace going back and forth between the two goals, just like in water polo. And in hockey, we also see a slow progression of the opposing teams gaining points, as we are seeing right now, because both sports rely heavily on goalkeepers to help stop goals from being made, and also on a good offense and defense.
Yeah, and it looks like McAuley pulled a offensive foul there, and they gave the ball back to LT, and LT is struggling to get it, and it looks like there is a foul there.
Yeah, it seems that recently LT's defense has been able to penetrate through into the territory of McCullough, but when they get the ball close enough, it either ends up in the water with like a wet pass, or it's simply just caught by the goal.
And there's a goal there by Anika Moore.
Great goal on the part of LT.
Really a nice job passing it around, got it to the open person, and she was able to finish it home. And the McAuley goalkeeper looked like she was a bit too far close in, which led the far end of the goal to be wide open for her. That means that LT is now leading 2-1.
Yeah, that's another thing that we can kind of observe in this game. For a goalie, it's not as much as being in the center, making sure you can move out or in. It's also a matter of being either too far out of the goal or too far in the goal.
Yeah, definitely. A whole lot of it is about a whole lot of sports. Even though you may think jocks and nerds are a bit against each other, a whole lot of sports is about angles and knowing the right angles to be, cutting down on people's angles, especially when you're in goal, which she wasn't able to do there, and especially hard. It's especially hard in the water, where you don't have the ability to move as quickly or as freely as you want to be.
Yeah, but I believe that despite the maneuverability issues that water obviously causes for a lot of players,
it's also got the same issues on the offensive players.
Yeah.
Well. And it looks like there's a timeout here.
Both teams about to switch out some players. So do you see in the future of this game, do you see more of the same type of playing that we're seeing with a lot of offense and defense centered action, or do you think that LT is going to try to switch up the strategy, make sure to put an emphasis on defense or focus more on offense?
I think they're definitely going to have to stick with the passing strategy they have on the offensive side, but their focus on defense has still gotten them pretty far. So McAuley still hasn't found a way to break through yet. I think they're going to need to try to find a way to maybe figure out a way to have some breakouts instead, which is especially hard in water polo because everybody's kind of going to be moving at the same speed. But I think that it's definitely going to come down to whether McAuley can really pull off those breakaways, or is the LT defense going to kind of, shatter a bit. But I think that they are holding firm, and they will continue to hold firm. And for the time being, it looks like it's the difference between the LT defense versus McAuley's goalkeeper. And I'm just going to keep saying the goaltender is looking really good. She's blocking a lot of shots. But we also haven't seen too much from the LT goalkeeper, who also has been blocking plenty of shots, but not really, in the ability to do stuff.
Yeah, I think it's, in my opinion, if either LT or McAuley is able to reach it to 3 or have a lead of at least 2 over the opponent, that'll just, since this game, as I said, is very fast-paced, goals kind of come here and there, I think that even little leads such as that can make a big difference in games such as water polo.
And as you see there, somebody looks like number 4 on McAuley's trying to pull out a breakout, but the LT defense stomps her out. And as I said, they're going to have to be looking towards those breakaways, or else they might not really have anything.
But as for right now, LT is still in the lead, McAuley falling close by with their tactics. I think it's just a matter of stepping up for McAuley. Will they be able to tie with LT and maybe even get ahead of LT?
And there's another great save by the McAuley goalkeeper. And there's another attempted breakaway. She gets stopped out again, but it looks like it's
going back to what I was saying earlier, sorry to cut you off, with the goalie moving in and out, I feel like if the McAuley player, number 6, was able to get it closer while the goalie was still out.
There's a penalty shot right there by McAuley. Sorry to cut you off. There's another point from McAuley, and it's 2-2 now. But continue about the...
Yeah, position for a goalie is very important. Since the pass was kind of short and she wasn't necessarily to it, the McAuley player got to it first. If there was at least a few more inches between the two, that would have been a very easy goal for McAuley to make at the moment. But as for right now, they're tied. 2 minutes still left on the clock, 20 on the shot clock.
Yeah, and that was it. That was I believe that was a sink. That was a penalty. That was a penalty in the 5-meter box area, and that was a penalty shot for McAuley. It looks like they're trying to go to the flanks and try to cross it in. Another soccer-centric strategy there. And it looks like they got it. McAuley has put themselves in the lead, 3-2 now, with a little less than a minute 30 left.
Yeah, that was actually a very good shot that McAuley had taken, because going back to what I was saying about position, they took advantage of LT's goalie being a bit too far to the right, leaving it a crucial part of the goal open.
And it also looked like they were trying to pull off those far away shots, which, again, shots at distance and breakaways are going to have to be the way that McAuley's going to have to win. But LT really isn't showing any weakness. They're going to have to. The way that McAuley is winning is because they're able to take advantage of the general weakness of the sport. And it looks like they're crossing it in here. And LT is able to keep it out there.
Yeah, McAuley is very good at getting up close and personal. That's the thing that in my opinion, that they've massively improved on, because in the last couple of plays, even the last goal, we've seen them, they were very close to LT being able to get past their defense, which we just didn't see earlier in the period.
Yeah, they were able to get over the defense recently. Before they had to they were trying to get past them. They're trying to muscle their way through, push their way through. They weren't able to do it, and now we are less than 15 seconds left on the. Looks like McAuley might just be trying to just run it out now. Although it looks like they might be trying to go for another goal here, and just misses as the time runs out.
Score McAuley 3, LTHS 2, 4 minutes and 53 seconds on the clock.
Yep, it's halftime. We got a bit of time to talk about what we saw, especially in that second quarter, which
yeah, I saw a lot of things sort of improve as they switch courts right now.
A lot of things improved, especially for the Mighty Macs. They really were able to get past the LT defense, which had been looking strong and still looks strong. It's just that they're able to get over them and past them. They were trying at the beginning to get through them, but that did not work. And now it's starting to look like LT's going to have to try to find a way to get past their goalkeeper, who their defense doesn't really look good, but their goalkeeper looks very good right now.
Yeah, if they keep their goalkeeper on for as long as she can go, because I mean I know as tiring as sport water polo is, it is very taxing on your body in terms of water. So as long as she can do it, I think McAuley has a very good chance of keeping their defense solid for the remainder of the game or period.
And I think that what do you think the keys to LT winning right now is going to have to be? to
Well,
get past that goalkeeper.
well, they're definitely going to have to go get even closer, make sure that they take advantage of whatever position that McAuley's goalie is in, because she tends to take more of a center position and move to wherever sort of predicting where the ball is kind of going to go, and make sure that she positions herself in that area to prevent a goal from being made. So LT is going to have to take more of a chance by getting closer, as McAuley did earlier, and make angle shots is why I think will probably be best for LT to get an advance on McAuley.
Okay, and we're going to stop now to give you guys a little bit of a break. And welcome back to the second half of the LT girls water polo game against Mother McAuley. And we're back here right in the action, and it looks like they're trying to take some longer shots to try to get a bit more of an angle on her, but it looks like the LT girls are going to be trying to do that a bit more, which is how Mother McAuley was really trying to beat them earlier.
Yeah, I'm sure the coach, when she was discussing with the players, I'm certain that the goalie for Mother McAuley came up at least once in the conversation, and how, like you're saying, they need to get better angle shots to make sure that they get past her well played out defense.
And it looks like she's just going to wade in there and score.
Yeah.
I believe that is a point for LT. Or not.
Well, either ways, that was an especially good shot because she was actually able to get it past the player for Mother McAuley, their goalie.
And basically, I believe that wasn't good. I believe she just kind of waded in and decided to throw the ball.
Yeah, basically to the left of her by a couple inches. What we'd otherwise think would be a very blockable ball, I actually got past her.
Yeah, I guess that was not an actual shot. She just kind of went in and threw it. I didn't exactly really see the call there about why play had supposed to stopped, but it looks like LT gets to keep the ball there with 4, 3, 2, 1 second left. She needs to throw it now, and it bounces right off the post. That's really disappointing. That would have been a great shot, though, if it had gone through.
Yeah, so I believe that LT's definitely improved on their long-range shots, as we were kind of thinking of earlier before they went on the halftime. So do you think we're going to be seeing a bit more of those shots on part of LT?
I think we're going to see a bit more shots on both sides.
Yeah, because both sides definitely need to make sure that not just accuracy, but sort of angle and angle of attack is also put into perspective when they're making these shots.
And I'm not quite sure what the call is right here, right now.
But whatever call, it has given possession of the ball to LTHS.
And the play has begun now. She's going to try to whip it around and try to see. And McAuley gets the ball back. A pretty errant pass there. Wasn't able to quite get a good hold of the ball there.
Mother McAuley making a smart decision to pass it close. Make sure they get their way around LT's defense.
And number 2 is wide open there.
Great shot on part of Mother McAuley. Taking
wonderful job of finding the holes there, but it looks like I think that's number 3 there, the player that I had said earlier that would really be helping us. KZ Stuba really let that ball by her. Well, let that player by her as well. And it looks right now that LT is going to have to try to climb out of this hole that they've dug for themselves. 4-2. with about 4 minutes left in the third period.
As I was saying earlier, even 2 points in water polo is almost the equivalent of like 5 in another sport such as basketball, because the pacing of the game makes it hard for points to be regularly scored, because it's the player moving through water, which doesn't necessarily make you faster, and they're trying to get it into the other goal, which is another thing that makes the pacing very important thing to consider with the point scoring.
And it looked like an LT player got pulled back, and that player is now out for the rest of the possession here. And the McAuley goalkeeper stands up again, really getting up to that ball. And it looks like McAuley is really taking hold of this game now.
Yeah, seeing some more great plays by their goalie, and I feel like that's going to resonate through with LT for the rest of the game.
Yeah, their offense is really looking a whole lot better than it did in that first period.
Now, in terms of keeping their lead, what would you suggest McAuley would need to either improve or focus more on to maintain their position in the game as of right now?
I think that they should try to focus more on their defense, which hadn't been doing as well as LT's had. But really, LT's kind of looking like they're getting a bit desperate here. As they get in close, she shoots just over the bar. And that was number 18, Maddie Cordell, who was not able to get it in. And they're going to play it out of the back here. And it looks like there's a foul on McAuley there. LT gets a free throw there to pass to a teammate. And she tries to pop it over.
Another overshot.
Get it.
Yeah, I don't think that balls that make a big arch in the air are the best ones to throw in order to get points. I think that the straighter throws are kind of the best bet, because for balls like that, they move far more slower and kind of more of the obvious target, with the exception of balls that kind of move like quickly enough. So
yeah, definitely. I think they're going to have to try to get a whole lot more fast, straight shots in order to get past the McAuley goalkeeper. But I think what they're looking for here with those high looping shots is that the goalkeeper will be just that slightly bit out of position, and they'll be able to sneak it in there. And it doesn't look like it's working. And it looks like there's a foul there in the center of the pool, in the middle of the box there. And LT gets the extra player for that possession, and they capitalize on it. Number 18, Maddie Cordell, gets a point.
yeah, like I said earlier, those straight shots are the best bet LT has to catching up to McAuley quickly enough.
And it looks like play is about to restart here.
McAuley now with possession of the ball. Nice wet catch on the part of McAuley. And number 4 makes the shot.
Right into that far corner there. McAuley is really taking hold of this game, even though LT was able to get that third goal.
Yeah.
They got their 5th. So it's still a 2-point lead here for McAuley, 5-3 with less than a minute left in the game.
Yeah, make sure that they focus on the lead that they have, maintaining it, which they're doing an excellent job of as of right now.
And here comes LT now. Not going to go for the throw, instead passing it around a bit more. And it looks like she might regret that, as that was the most open shot that they had. It was a very good block, and I believe that was actually a block from an LT player that hit it out. And a very good distribution pass
long
there.
pass.
And they give the foul to McAuley. Number 11 tries to throw it in, and it's less than the amount that the shot clock is, so there is no shot clock here. 15 seconds left. LT's got to try to do something to narrow this lead a bit more than they can.
9 seconds left on the clock.
And there's a foul there. Clock stops. Tries to get it to a player. Number
And it
3,
makes it in.
Casey Stuba gets it in the top left corner there of that goal. And that is 1 second left. That is a real buzzer beater there. And it looks like it's going to end the third period with 5 to McAuley and 4 to LT.
Now, the shot that we just saw right there, I think that a shot like that would have saved LT a lot earlier back when we'd seen that when two players were colliding onto the ball, and make sure you get it first, back off, then take the shot is very important to make sure that they get the goal.
And I just want to mention, you saw the power of that throw there from the McAuley goalkeeper. Almost actually caught the LT goalkeeper out of position there and got it into that corner there.
Yeah, because making sure that you have a long pass that gets deep within enemy territory before the other players have time to react is very crucial in this sport, especially where pacing and speed are very important.
And that was definitely a very interesting shot there as she just threw it. And it looks like that was a false start bit there. And they'll start the clock now.
You know, another interesting thing about the sport of water polo is how they position themselves, where instead of you have the a defense of the opposing team and the home team sort of evenly spaced together, you have the entirety of the defense of the home team behind the opposing team.
And I did want to mention there, I think that that wasn't the start of the fourth period. It is now the intermission here. But it looks like that wasn't allowed with the very long throw from the goalkeeper. That wasn't a legal throw, so they had to restart it. So what do you think that LT needs to do here to get this one extra point and try to pull off a comeback?
Well, as far as I know, I don't think there are any double points that they could score. But for LT, it's going to need a lot more far passing, catch their defense off guard, and get in there quick enough to make the shot, because what we've been seeing is that LT, they've been having sort of a slow reaction to get it up close to the opposing goal, and that has allowed McAuley's defense team to sort of surround a player, and if they get a wet pass, then the ball is in between two players, only separating them by like a couple feet or a few inches, then it makes it difficult for them to have a clear shot of the goal. So I think that LT is going to need to make a special interest on getting to the goal in a quick enough fashion to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, and I think that LT really needs to try to get their shots when they can get them. They need to get their shots off when they're able to do it, because it kind of looked like in one of those earlier possessions there where the LT player had a wonderful shot there, but she didn't take it and instead passed it over, and it really kind of ended that series of play. And it looks like they're lining up, getting ready for the fourth period sprint. There are 7 minutes on the clock here to start off the game. Well, start off the period anyways. And the referee has dropped the ball in, and it looks like LT gets possession there.
And it seems as if LT is lining up to make a few long passes.
And it looks like LT's trying to get some long shots here. And gets tipped in by number 11 on Mother McAuley.
Definitely a great pass on the part of LT. in a way, kind of dispelling the theory that I was coming up with that they need to get past defense quick enough. I think that seeing things like that, LT, they don't necessarily need to focus on that as much as make sure that they have good arches, not too high of an arch, but that is high enough to avoid the players, but not too high enough to slow down the ball speed.
Well, I think that the McAuley goalkeeper could have gotten to it, but that player got in the way and deflected it in. That was an own goal there by number 11 on Mother McAuley, and now it's all tied up at 5.
Yeah, the deflection may have added a bit of speed to it as well, also playing part in that block.
And number 11 gets to the ball as well again there, but doesn't throw it into her own net. And it looks like the McAuley defense is a bit slow getting over to the offensive side. And it looks like it didn't go in, bounced off the goalpost and stayed out.
5 minutes, 45 seconds on the clock, 23 seconds left on the shot clock. Both teams are tied at 5. And LT now has possession of the ball.
And it looks like she's getting dunked there, but she didn't have possession of the ball, so possession goes to McAuley.
Not necessarily the best pass, in my opinion, to a player that was nearly surrounded, but definitely close if she was not.
Yeah, definitely not good decision making there with where to direct the pass. And McAuley's looking to try to escape the defense, which has basically pushed them out of the area, but number 8 on McAuley has made her way in, but it is completely stuffed out by a returning defender.
Now, here's another thing that I'm sort of noticing with McAuley and their defense, how it's set up, is that when they were forming up, there was basically no one in the center that was actually close enough to the goalie. They're all either defending someone or not close enough, which sort of led to a dilemma where the LT had been holding the ball, was waiting and looking for someone to pass it to, which we're not seeing now. We're seeing more McAuley players in this area, but that has been a problem for about the last 2 goals that I've noticed for McAuley and LT.
And it looks like McAuley's taking a timeout here as they try to figure out their strategy with 4 minutes, 27 seconds on the clock. I believe that they're going to be getting possession as they come back.
So what do you think is being discussed at McAuley as of right now?
I think they're going to be discussing about why there's nobody in the middle there, and especially it looked like the McAuley coach was really kind of getting angry at the defense slacking their way out. And I think she definitely wants to see faster movement. That's how they were scoring earlier. Faster movement, getting out there, getting to the offensive end to score. And I think LT is going to be talking about right now is that they need to focus on keeping McAuley from scoring. They'll try to let the goals come to them, but they need to make sure that McAuley does not score. Meanwhile, McAuley is talking about their offensive strategy because they have a very good goalkeeper in there.
Yeah, I think the opposite actually might be being discussed over at the LT side of the court, whereas they may be wanting to capitalize on preventing as many McAuley players from getting close to their goal as possible. It's all a matter of strategy. This is a very strategic type game, like most sports.
And it looks like they're getting ready to let them all re-enter into play. And it looks like one of the players has a penalty, so they're going to have to sit out the rest of the possession. And number 11, trying to redeem herself for that own goal earlier, gets stopped right at the stomach of the LT goalie.
Yeah, definitely a great catch on the part of LT's goalie. Seeing a bit more short passes with LT's approach to McAuley's goal.
It looks like they really need to try to spread their way out here. And McAuley's goalkeeper able to keep that one out as well.
I feel like that shot was, in a way, kind of flawed from the beginning because number 18's approach was far too much to the side, and the angling at which she shot, there's a very small window for them to actually make that goal.
And it looks like the McAuley defense is still slacking back a bit.
Yeah, but we're definitely seeing McAuley capitalizing on making a lot of frontal shots, whereas they make a lot less side shots as LT does.
Yeah, LT is trying to sneak it into the sides of the goal, but I really think that that's not going to work out for them, especially with this good of a goalkeeper. When you have a really good goalkeeper, you're going to want to have more area to be able to shoot it. And going to the side really cuts down on your angle. And it looks like McAuley gets the ball back. And a nice pass to an open player, but McAuley players aren't getting back over there. And I think that may end up kind of being a problem for them.
Yeah, as we kind of seen earlier, McAuley is, having problems with not having any players nearby the goal, which forces them to have to make those long shots, which LT is good at blocking.
And, well, earlier on they were making a whole lot of their long shots, but I think LT's finally kind of gotten their goalkeeper to say, hey, you got to look for that. You got to look for more long shots than those close angle shots. And it looks like LT's trying to pull their way out of the corner here, trying to keep the ball in, cross it in. And she almost picks it up and throws it in there, number 18. But it keeps playing, and McAuley gets the ball. And there is already a player down there for the ball, but it goes back the other way as I believe she hit the defender.
Yeah, so going back to the earlier shots we had saw, I think we're seeing that problem again where LT's making shots that are on too much of an angle and not close enough, whereas they may be able to get past the goalie.
Now I think what really needs to be done is to try to kind of fake a bit to look like they're about to do it, but instead cross it in to an open player in there. It looks like number 3 on LT, Casey Stuba, is kind of yelling over at number 9, Claudia Lundgren, to try to do that a bit more. And it looks like the McAuley coach is still very angry about their inability to get in the box.
Definitely seeing a crowd that is very excited to see their players either make the goal or make the certain pass to get to the goal.
And it's 1:36 seconds left here. So what do you think is really going to be the deciding factor in these last minute and a half?
Well, they're both tied right now, about a minute 30 on the clock, like you said. Definitely a strategy that LT is going to look for is making sure that they prevent as many of McAuley's defensive players from getting close enough to the goal to make the shot, as well as working on their own shots, making sure that they're on a lot less of an angle, or if they are on an angle, it's close enough to where they can get past the goalie for McAuley, which is, as we've seen, is a very tough goal to get past. So that's just my input on what both the teams need to improve on to overcome each other.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with you with the fact that this McAuley goalie, even though she's doing really well, she may be getting tired here, but she's still doing very well. So I expect to see LT try to find more ways to kind of confuse her a bit by making sure that there's more of a passing game, which we saw earlier, but they kind of faded away from and tried to go for the close angle shots. So let's see what happens here as the timeout is supposed to be ending. McAuley's all the way already back out there and prepared. And it looks like the LT goalie is ready here to start this back up.
And that's kind of another problem that I'm seeing with water polo, whereas in a lot of sports we see there are usually a defender, and there are two defenders. They're close to each other, and they're both trying to prevent each other from getting the ball, like in a lot of sports, basketball, soccer, lacrosse, a lot of sports like that. But in water polo, where we see the same type of things happening, it's, well, in water. So that just sort of makes it harder for a lot of people to get to each other in close enough time. And mixed mobility also a problem, too.
And barely a save there for LT's goalie there. Able to get it out now, and it looks like they're going to try to pull off a breakout here. And that's a foul. Looks like they're going to try it, and they get it.
That is a great shot on
LT
part
is
of LT.
now up 6-5 on Mother McAuley right now with 46 seconds left. And that was a wonderful long shot by number 6, who do not have her name on our sheet. We apologize to that player, but that player may have just saved LT's game right here.
Yeah, definitely, because it'll be a lot more difficult for McAuley to get in another point with the way that LT's defense has been improving over the past couple periods. And so
there's 10 seconds left here on this shot clock, and there's a foul. Passes it off, and number 11 redeems her team.
And McAuley pulls a miracle by tying it up within 10 seconds of LT actually scoring.
22 seconds left here. There is no shot clock. There is only the game clock here. They're going to try to find a way. Either they're going to look to go to extra time, or they're going to try to find a way to win this. It looks like LT might be trying to put out their best shooters here so that they can try to get this as fast as they can.
20 seconds left. We're going to have to see which team comes up on top.
And it looks like there's a foul there as she's able to throw it back out. Another foul. And these fouls really stop the clock here. And a save, a very close save here by McAuley's goalie.
That definitely prevented any hopes of LT gaining another point.
Definitely ended their hopes of winning this in regulation. They're going to have to hope that they're going to have to hold solid for the last 4 seconds and then hope that they can win it in extra time.
Mm-hmm. So, since we've basically seen the whole game play through, what do you think was the kind of the high point of the game, the strategies that they use, the different techniques we've seen?
I think the high point of the game for McAuley came in the second period when they were able to really pick out their strategy of trying to get some long shots, really figuring out the LT defense. And the LT defense really struggled until later in the third period, where they were able to really kind of pull themselves together and start working towards getting ahead. And they did get ahead very late in the game, and just 10 seconds after, McAuley gets it back, and now we're here with 4 seconds left, tied at 6. The Mighty Macs versus the LT Lions, and the Macs have the ball right now. It's dropped into the goalkeepers to see if she can pick out a player for the last 4 seconds to try to just throw this in. And no, they did not get it. We're going into extra time. It's another sort of long break like in halftime. So we're gonna cut off here so that you guys can have a bit of a break of us talking. And we are back here for extra time for the LT Mother McAuley game here. Girls water polo, and it has been tied at 6. It has been a very close match. Both teams were able to break away at certain points in the game, but really they've been together the entire way. Mm-hmm. And it looks like Mother McAuley is pushing their way forward. They're able to stop her advancement, but it looks like it's a foul.
Yeah, so Mother McAuley running into the same problem once again, where they don't have any
attacking
defensive players that are in the middle of that exposed ring, because it's always in a circular type ring that we're seeing in the absence of players.
In fact, we're even seeing that sort of ring happening in the offensive end where the LT players are on the outside and they're keeping the McAuley players in.
In a way, forcing them to make long shots, such as those right there.
It looks like LT's got a corner kick here. And she doesn't have anybody open. She's looking for somebody to be open, and she just throws it away. And it's a turnover there. She's able to steal the ball. LT has a breakaway here, and they have a great positioning, and the Mother McAuley goalkeeper still getting in the way of those shots.
Still performing at the same calibers as she has been for the duration of the entire game. Even in overtime, she still isn't shrinking on her ability to block passes.
And Anika Moore coming up here with the ball. Passes it to number 18, Maddie Cordell, who passes it over to number 7, Magnan Koto. And I believe LT has the ball here in the back. It's a corner kick. She's going to try to cross it in here to somebody who might be able to get in the middle.
Yeah, they'll definitely have to rely on those short passes.
And there was a foul there as McAuley gets the ball very close in here.
Now, I think McAuley has been able to capitalize on their ability to kind of corner the LT offensive players to a position where they have to take bad shots, essentially.
And number 2, wide open there. Wide open shot, but is able to, luckily for the LT team, she was able to miss. And now with less than 1 minute left, LT is going to try to go up the pole and try to see if they can score here.
Definitely something that both teams are going to need to do within the next 45 seconds, because as for the whole reason they're on overtime, they're tied.
And that is a wonderful save there. Not much the defense can do about that. It was mostly about their positioning at the beginning of the play. They couldn't really get back to it. But that was a wonderful save by the LT goalkeeper there. And I believe there's still enough time on the shot clock to not be there anymore, but about a little less than now 15 seconds left in the extra time period.
McAuley is going to have to make that shot quickly. But LT's goalie has making it very difficult for them to make those shots, as we're seeing right now. Very proficient in getting them out of the way.
And that is the extra time, halftime. And what do you think is really going to start putting this away for either of these teams?
Well, I think that's something important that they're going to need to focus on, is making sure that they prevent a lot of the things that have been happening a lot recently, because we're seeing the same things that are playing out over and over again, where that their players will either get cornered and have to take shots that aren't necessarily good shots, or that the players are going to be in a position where they aren't really able to take a shot, well, period. So that's definitely something that they're going to have to work on throughout the game.
And I believe the LT team really needs to try to figure out a way to get those long shots in. Those long shots are going to be really important in this later stretch, because that's probably going to be the only looks that they're going to get.
Definitely well stated. What do you think is? I can only assume that's the strategy that you believe in the most.
And excuse me, but that is the crowd getting really into it right now.
Yeah, the crowd's definitely, the LT's crowd's definitely interested in their team winning.
And the Mighty Max crowd is also very loud. I remember that definitely the Mother McAuley teams are usually very well supported throughout their throughout even away games, and really are very loud. But LT always has loud fans. whatever. And I think that that's definitely going to be a real effect in this game. And it looks like LT is all done explaining their strategy to their players. But it looks like Mother McAuley was already done a while back.
Still seeing the same goalie in par, Mother McAuley.
It's really going to come down to, I think, two players. One of them on Mother McAuley and one of them on LT, and they're both goalkeepers. Because really, it's about they're the last line of defense, especially in this sport where it's going to be really hard to really just try to get in there. They're the last line of defense, and they need to make sure that they get it done.
With the
And
opening
there's
sprint.
the drop.
Great play, actually forcing the ball back into the hand of their back players.
It looks like she's looking for a shot over there. And one of the things that you got to notice here is that they really look to, whenever one of their players is looking for a shot, they kind of pull up a bit and start waving their arm a bit, trying to pump a bit. Except for that shot, which was an instantaneous shot, a wonderful catch and throw there, but great save again by the Mother McAuley goaltender.
So it looks like Mother McAuley has been able to sort of fix their problem where they actually do have players that are close to the goal, but I think the player that I'm sure she was aiming for wasn't in the right place because she had an LT defender right on her back. So.
And LT's trying to pull their way up the pool. Making a pass back, and that is an LT ball. Passes it back again.
A little bit of an
that
overshot.
Runs out the clock there. She either had to shoot or that player had to get up and catch it, and that was nowhere close enough to her to catch it. And number 6 on Mother McAuley almost making that shot. They're really kind of giving them a bit too much space right now.
Yeah, LTs we've seen them make a lot of long shots. I think they're going to need to get a bit closer because the shots they're making are very powerful and fast, but they're going to need to get definitely closer, which I don't think LT has a problem with as much as I believe they're wanting to basically end the game.
And it looks like Mother McAuley just got the ball. Didn't quite see what happened there. And that almost trickles in from Mother McAuley. Almost trickles in. And you can kind of see the difference between the McAuley goalkeeper and the LT goalkeeper, where McAuley is really looking like they're kind of steady there on that spot.
We now have 35 seconds left on the clock, 9 on the shot clock. Both teams still tied. LT now with possession of the ball.
And it looks like she's going to try to pass it back to the other side. She throws it over.
Nearly goes in.
Very good save again by the goalkeeper over there in white. And she's winding up for a throw here. And it looks like the ball goes to LT with 15 seconds left in regulation clock here for extra time. And they're going to call a timeout right now. And I think that definitely this strategy right here is going to have to be a very sort of like a 2-minute play here in football, where it's going to be run out the clock as much as you can, but still get the ball in the net as fast as you can as well. So I think it's definitely going to be run it till around maybe 4 seconds left, and then try to get it in.
Yeah, definitely excellently stated. We're going to want to see both teams being able to get in close enough and quick enough for in the last 15 seconds, which is definitely going to put a lot of time constraints on the amount of activity they're going to be able to do within the last quarter of the game.
But there's a difference between 15 seconds and just 5 seconds. So they have enough time to maybe set up a play, maybe, as I said earlier, confuse the goalkeeper, try to get her out of position to get that ball in where exactly where they want it. And I think that they're going to have enough time to do it here.
Excellently stated. Going back to like how I was saying a lot earlier, how the fast pacing of this game, 15 seconds can actually be a long time with passing and make sure that they angle themselves correctly to get a shot. So when the position that McAuley is in, what do you think that they discussed?
They just discussed trying to get the ball back as fast as they can, try to force a shot out of LT very early, and get the ball back and try to get it across as fast as they can, maybe even leaving a player up in the offensive zone.
Great way to point that out.
I think they're going to have to try to put their fastest swimmer, which I believe is probably number 11, who appears to be in the spot that I was mentioning, and closer to the middle, try to swim their way out. And the clock is going down here. 10 seconds left as the ball's finally getting to the offensive zone.
LT still being able to maintain their hold on the ball.
And she is unable to finish that shot, and that means another period of extra time, I think.
Third overtime we've been able to go into. These teams are just deadlocking their ability to overcome each other.
And the fans are getting really tense here. They're not cheering quite right now, but they're definitely like really loud earlier, and they're getting even louder. And you especially heard it right there, where one of the players had a chance to win it, but she just didn't have a good shot. And I think at that point, with time running out, you don't make that pass. You just try to throw it as best as you can into the net, and you might just get lucky.
Yep, excellently stated.
And it looks like LT is discussing something. So what do you think that LT is going to have to figure out now, especially after not being able to capitalize on being that final possession of that period?
Well, LT as right now, they have no problem with getting up close and personal with Mother McAuley's team, getting right into the defense, penetrating past it, and making sure that they get right into the goalie. But something that they're going to need to work on is, well, making the shot in a way that it gets past the goalie, basically. And that is something that they're going to need to capitalize on, their accuracy, if you agree on that statement or not.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to have to come down to accuracy, especially not getting into close range, because I think that they've found out that their close range stuff isn't doing very well. And especially, again, it's the will of the two goalkeepers to see which one of them lasts longer. And I think that LT's goalkeeper is starting to get even better really late, but the McAuley goalkeeper is still as good as she was at the beginning of the game. And I think that, you know what, I think I might say that McAuley might end up winning this, especially with how evenly matched these two teams are right now.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing them the way that they've been playing recently.
And here the fans are starting up cheering here.
Yeah, very supportive crowd on the part of LT.
And they get ready for the sprint here. And he drops the ball in the water.
LT with possession of the ball. Hopefully, for either team, this will have to be the last play that they make.
And it looks like LT gets a foul there, deep. And I believe that she may have run out of time there for throwing it back into position, and that means that McAuley gets the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And McAuley has a very good position here, but very well blocked.
And a great block on the part of LT's goalie, number 14.
Well, 1A. It's really
1A.
confusing.
Yeah. Mother McAuley again, having to make the decision of a short or long pass.
Looks
They
like
go
she's
for a
going-
long.
And it looks like they're trying to pull outside and then go right to the other side and throw it into the wide open area that would be left, but there is no wide open area there as the LT goalkeeper gets back to it. That is Maddie Janik.
Yeah, I've seen the same problem once again, whereas they just don't have those offensive players in the center to receive the ball close enough to the goalie.
And I think that may be the plan right now, which is try to get it to one side, then right back to the other, which is what I've been saying about confusing the goalkeeper. And a great block by the McAuley defense. Whole lot of chances here for LT, but McAuley is able to just keep them out, and I believe that's a foul there, and McAuley gets the ball back.
They're making a lot of great goalie decisions.
And it's a very tense game right now as we are in the third overtime here. McAuley throws and hits off the crossbar.
Yeah, that definitely wouldn't have made it in if it was just a few more inches to the left.
And LT keeps going. And they're moving up the pool right now. Lands right in front of a wide open player, but is easily taken away by a McAuley player.
LT nearly had that opportunity to get that open goal.
It looks like she's going to want to try to throw it long here to an open player, number 15. She gets the ball, maybe a foul. Yes, she is able to throw it freely now, and it is blocked out by an LT player, and it goes the other way. There's nobody there in the offensive zone for her to throw to. She throws back to the goalkeeper, who I think she's got some water in her ear, and she can't hear what the coach is telling her. And LT's looking for a way to put it out to one of their players, but they're not really finding any space, but they are finding a bit of space right there. It's number 3. Turns around and almost a wonderful shot to the bottom right corner of the net.
Well, looks like we're going to have to go into overtime once more.
Yep, 3-1. And that is the end of the third period of extra time. That was the end of the 7th period of just the 7th period in general. And we're going into a 4th overtime now.
We're seeing a lot. This is a very heavily matched team, is what we're seeing.
We may be here until maybe 11. This is a really close game here. And it really looks like I now just can't pick apart the two teams here, because I said maybe McAuley's going to win it, but LT really showed strong in that period.
Definitely stepping up LT's game.
And now it may be looking like maybe LT might be the one to win this, but really it's very even right now. I don't think I can really pick apart a single team to really look like they're about to go ahead. And if you heard that long groan, that was from some of the fans who are waiting to go home.
I myself would be pretty disgruntled too if I was in a 4th overtime with 2 games. So.
And really, this is a very close game, and it's kind of an important game because McAuley also is normally very good at sports like this, water polo. They don't really have that good of a basketball team, but they have a very good volleyball team. I think that's, they have a very good athletic program over at Mother McAuley, and LT also has a very good athletic program. And as I said before, the boys team won the water polo championship last year. They're defending champs. And this team right here the LT girls team is also a very good team. 2 years ago, they won the, I believe 2 years ago, won the state, won the, not the state championship, but I believe, I don't think it was the state championship, but they won a championship, I believe 2 years ago. And maybe, and I'm pretty sure none of these players who were there were on that team, but it's still a very good team with a good coach. And it looks like they're out there ready to start the fourth overtime.
Fourth. Looks like a lot of them are hoping this will be the final.
And they drop the ball in for the sprint. LT gets possession. They're trying to pass it around, try to find a hole in. Number 3 pops it up into it.
Yeah, those arching shots, not necessarily the best ones to make in that situation.
But it almost actually did go in, and it looked like a very good pass to one of the players running on. And wide open, number 2, but the LT goalkeeper is able to stop that one. Passes it out to number 9, Claudia Lundgren.
Claudia having to make the decision to go long or short. She chooses short.
Anika Moore to Casey Stuba.
And this is predicting what would have happened if that foul wasn't called. They LT'd before number 9 had swam into it. They were in the same situation as Mother McAuley, where they didn't have anyone that was close enough to the goal. And she was on an angle that wasn't very favorable for a good shot, and that may have, for a fact, prevented her from getting another goal.
It looks like number 6 for McAuley was looking for a shot, but instead chose a pass. Number 4 for McAuley looks for a shot and gets a
great
save. And we're still waiting for the end of the game. This is the fourth overtime of this game, and players are getting very tired now.
Yeah, you can tell the goalie for both teams are very exhausted at this point, which doesn't seem at all like it's impeding on their performance.
Number 3, number 3, Casey Stuba, almost with a very tricky catch and throw there. But the McAuley goalkeeper, again, just showing a whole lot of class there, getting the ball away. And Mother McAuley calls a timeout over there in a very good position after that foul. And it looks like that is a penalty, and they're going to be down a player in that possession right here. And what do you think they're going to be planning here? Are they be utilizing that extra player in that area?
Definitely keeping LT from getting to their goalpost again is something that they want to capitalize on last minute of the game.
And I really, as I was kind of saying, I really think that we're going to be trying, Mother McAuley is going to be trying to capitalize on the extra player, but we, LT, are going to have to really kind of fall back on the goal and try to really just make sure that we have a whole lot of players in front of the ball at all times.
Yeah, make sure that there are no gaps in the defense that LT has, and that we're able to successfully get the ball close enough to the goalie, because that's a problem that LT's sort of been having, is those long shots are not blockable, but this is there, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
And I think that's Mother McAuley, what they're trying to do now is basically just rally their team together, because really this is kind of their moment right here. It's this possession or kind of nothing. The shot clock is completely full here, so they got 30 seconds to try to make a shot in there. They've got an extra player on that end for the rest of this possession. And they got the ball in a very good position within the 5-meter mark. And they're going to start it back here around the mid-pool area. Choosing to go very quick here. She chooses not to go for the shot. Goes to number 2 for McAuley. Passes it back over to 11. 11 gets
and
it in.
Goal on
McAuley
part of
wins.
Mother McAuley.
Goal for
Very
Mother McAuley,
excellently
and,
played
and
shot.
they win. Off
Very
a 4th overtime. 47 seconds left here. And I believe that is the end of the game. A sudden death overtime at 4th overtime, sudden death. 47 seconds left in this period, and Mother McAuley wins. Number 11 gets the winning goal. And what do you think happened there?
All right, that was definitely very good strategy they used, very good shot. And what I saw was that they were passing back and forth, almost like disorienting the goalie in a way, trying to figure out where the ball was going to come from by going back and forth, left to right, and then finally making that one shot from far and actually making it. So that was definitely a good strategy that I saw Mother McAuley use throughout the game.
Yeah, that's what I was saying for what LT needed to do against that really good McAuley goalkeeper, but they just weren't able to utilize that. And really, I think what really won it for them was that extra player. Number 11 from McAuley looked wide open right there, and it looked like she was very ready to get that ball and score that winning goal. And I guess we're going to have to be signing off here. Mother McAuley Mighty Macs win here, 7-6 against the Lyons Township Lions. This has been Girls Water Polo with John Carollo and Kendall. And
yep, that was basically it. We hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And this was another feature from LTTV.